People deluded. I'm back again as usual. Big up yourselves for tuning in. As we know, it's the off season. The transfer rumors are swirling. So simply put, let's go over what is affecting or written about our football club in this present day today, people. As I said, big up you lot for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe throughout. And yeah, let me share my screen and let's do exactly, what I just said there. Now, as we know, when you look through Arsenal's team and we're looking at potential positions to identify, I think us common Arsenal fans, just fans of the football club, would like a central midfielder, would like maybe another defensive reinforcement. And where a winger and a striker are concerned, you could argue that together with those two positions and in midfield, those are how we really significantly upgrade our team. Ben Jacobs has been speaking, much like much journalists, and said, I think Arsenal are still stuck deciding on the striker front, but it's clear that the kind of profile that they're looking for is someone young and they feel is missing. Along with Benjamin Sesko, they've considered Ivan Ferguson and Gyökeres, but they've ruled out Ivan Toney. Ivan Ferguson, obviously, it's a transitional period at Brighton. They had a difficult season. De Zerbi's left, but he's still going to cost a premium. Gyökeres, again, he's had a great season in Sporting Lisbon and has been linked with us for a while. This week, you're led to believe it's just Benjamin Sesko. It's just Benjamin Sesko. And even though we hear reports about Arsenal moving for Osimhen, the outlay is so severe that nothing is advancing at this stage on that front. Of course, he costs us 130 million. He's going to be on big wages, probably sign a 5-year deal. So when you look at that investment, Arsenal might say that's out of our budget or currently out of our remit. It's a long window, of course, but there's better value and slightly younger profiles of strikers that Arsenal are prioritizing at this time. I hear it, but I must admit it is quite harsh when everybody harps on about age for me with Osimhen, because they need 25, 26. Like, he could still kick ball for a number of years. Allegedly, Arsenal await Benjamin Sesko's decision on activating his release clause. Naturally, nobody is going to activate his release clause unless he's given his word that he wants to sign for them. Now, again, in business, which football, unfortunately, I hate to refer it to as that is, verbal agreements mean nothing if it's not in hard writing. So this is why I always say, in that obviously 99.9% of the rumors we're led to believe are BS. They make for great talking points. Smash the like button and subscribe and comment yours. But what is being projected in the media and what's actually happening in the footballing world for all clubs and all players looking to do transfers is very different. So again, until people are holding scarves and shirts, you just never know. Apparently, Alex Goldberg, who I believe is a Chelsea content creator, I think he done a video with a journalist or something on Playback, which, let me drop a follow because I hear this platform is the place to be. So we might have to get that going. Arsenal like Benjamin Sesko, but he's not their first choice. Chelsea are pushing harder. So who is the first choice and who is the striker? Because you would have thought Sesko is value for money. Keeping up the theme with Arsenal and central midfield people or midfield recruits, Aston Villa may be required to sell Douglas Luiz. Apparently, people, main player and star of Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz enter the crosshairs of Arsenal and Juventus for next season. The English club may be forced to sell the Brazilian to relieve, I think they mean themselves, Google Translate, it's not helping us, of FFP issues. And as we know, he's got 2 years left on his deal, has previously been linked with Arsenal, and you'd imagine those rumors aren't going to go away. Fabrizio has said Douglas Luiz could leave Aston Villa. He's always been appreciated by Arsenal. He was close to joining Arsenal 2 years ago. Let's see if they return or not. At the moment, Arsenal are not actively working on this deal, so you can't rule it out, but Arsenal are not working on it, allegedly. Once again, to ease PSR concerns, they're considering his sale. There's probably a couple of players they want to sell before him, but in terms of significant outlay, you probably look at Mr. Douglas Luiz and Ollie Watkins. They're the ones that, again, they're in the Champions League. They want to build on what they're doing and keep their players together. But in terms of really bringing in a significant fee, it's probably those two. And Douglas Luiz has 2 years left on his deal. So from now to the next 18 months, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Arsenal send message to Napoli over Osimhen transfer. Arsenal have made it clear to Napoli they will not meet Victor Osimhen's 130 million euros release clause, in brackets 110.8 million. We all know we're looking for a striker. Apparently, it's understood Sesko, who scored 14 goals in the Bundesliga this season, is one of the top candidates and has a £55.2 million or 65 million euros release clause. Sky Italy report, while Arsenal hold Osimhen in high regard, they are unwilling to push ahead with a deal due to the high costs involved. Napoli have been open to selling Osimhen for several months, but the club's president is holding out for a club to trigger the Nigerian's release clause, which, again, we're very early in the market, but we'll have to see. Apparently, Napoli at this moment in time have received no concrete concrete proposals, people. And apparently Saudi Arabian clubs are interested in him. Napoli could now decide to lower Osimhen's asking price. And again, the off season has just begun. So it's a game of poker, really and truly. He has been linked with a bunch of clubs. He's linked, if it's not Arsenal and Chelsea, he's linked with Paris Saint-Germain. So we'll have to watch that closely. Joao Neves, if in my opinion, I think he joins Man City or Manchester United, but he's still linked with Arsenal. According to Ebola, sorry, man said Bulla. You can tell I'm hungry. If you know, you know. Benfica are demanding twice as much for Joao Neves as Arsenal are reportedly willing to offer for the player. The Gunners are ready to offer £51 million in, that's in brackets. That equates to 60 million euros. Apparently, Arsenal are making moves for the 19-year-old sensation Neves, who was added to their shortlist more recently. Given that Benfica are receiving serious attention from one of England's biggest clubs, Neves' future has become a crucial concern for them. He's got a release clause of 102 million. Naturally, 19 years of age, has all the potential in the world, going to star for Portugal in some capacity in the Euros off the back of a great promising season for Benfica. They're going to want top money, people. And he is, I think he is a 6, but he's not a conventional 6. He's not Rodri, but he's more one of them number 6s you find on the continent versus a traditional industrial number 6. And at 19 years of age, there's still a lot that he needs to do and improve in his game. But I think he's got a good passing range. He shows a willingness to muck in defensively. As it says there, the maturity that he displays, I think he's going to have a great future wherever he ends up, man. Really, I just don't see Arsenal forking out the cash that they're going to, people, at this moment in time. He's also got a contract that runs until 2028, and allegedly they're contemplating offering him a new deal off the back of such, people. An impressive showing in the Euros might make it more difficult for Benfica to keep the midfielder at the club. And again, he's linked with both Manchester clubs in United and City, as well as Arsenal. We've gone over the Osimhen stuff already. Benfica find themselves under increased pressure to sell prodigy Joao Neves. I don't think so. If he's contracted until 2028 and they've got an appreciating asset, you're not, unless there's financial concerns at their football club. Man United and Arsenal appear willing to pay around half the figure that is asked for, people. So it's unlikely either are going to do things. I think he's more likely to end up at Old Trafford or City, as stated, people. He's being offered a new deal. We'll have to see really and truly exactly what happens, people. Apparently he's unwilling to return to the negotiating table at this moment in time. So who knows, people. Arsenal and Man United remain interested in Bologna's Joshua Zirkzee amid strong interest from AC Milan. But if you read reports, AC Milan are moving ever closer to signing him. Apparently AC Milan have beaten Arsenal in the race to sign Joshua, people. Apparently they'll pay his 40 million euros release clause. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on in that regard. Apparently the one aspect that has held up the deal being completed is the commission requested by Zirkzee's agent Kai Zirkzee. He has a great relationship at Arsenal. Zirkzee has allegedly been demanding 15 million euros, but Sky report that Milan are close to getting that down to 10 million. So then, you go back to the Osimhen fee, you're going to, Osimhen, they want 100 odd million, 250, 300 grand a week, in my opinion. Probably signs a 4 to 5 year deal. So the total cost of him fulfilling that duration of the contract, plus probably, an agent fee, it makes it very costly. So if we're talking about Zirkzee, what does it mean on the other levels? And I'm not a transfer man, but I think us fans, we get caught in the trap of just because someone's bought for 10 million, for example, that's all that's equated into it, really. There's other moving parts, but we'll have to see. Oh, Nana, who 1 minute Arsenal are in talks and we're trying to get, then he, reports are allegedly wide of the mark. Apparently he's reaffirmed his desire to play for an international world club. Any opportunity he's had to speak recently, he's done such. Again, he's still linked with Arsenal. He's a midfielder and whatnot. Apparently he's of interest to Arsenal this summer and is one of the midfielders we've looked at, with Bruno Guimaraes, who probably not going to get that, and Martin Zubimendi also on the list. At previous tournaments, you've seen that players who did well make the step up to top clubs. That's something I strive for. Bit harsh on Everton. I feel like presenting myself to the European top and showing what I have to offer. This European Championship is a stage. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on there in that regards, people. So big him up. We'll have to see, really and truly. And he did say as well, I want to be a much better player, which Arteta could help you with that. And my goal is to play for an international world club in 3 years. I also want to have qualified with Belgium for the 2026 World Cup in America in 3 years. I dream about that. I'll do everything I can to make these dreams come true. I have to, and will answer this very professionally. I'm under contract with Everton and I'll leave everything else to the media. I'll just do my best at the European Championships and then we'll see. Fair enough. And Everton's another club allegedly treading close where FFP is concerned. Now, again, Newcastle chasing a goalkeeper, or even Chelsea, because Ramsdale's been linked with that, is indirectly of interest to Arsenal. This article, trimming through the fat people, has touched on Aaron Ramsdale and said Arsenal are looking for 50 million for their number 2 Aaron Ramsdale, made up of a guaranteed 40 million plus add-ons. Hopefully there's a sell-on clause. I think in today's day and age, the fact that he's 24, 25 and English tax and everybody's got money, and, you know, a bit like, I believe if Ramsdale leaves, he'll establish himself well and he'll rock up at a top 4, top 6 club again. It's a bit like Smith Rowe. When he does leave, I think he will show his quality. I think a number of the players linked with moves away, which is cool. That's how it works. But let's make sure we get a decent fee. You know, if you bring in 50 million for Ramsdale, and, you know, we've been linked with Feyenoord's Bergelo, for example, Ramsdale brings us 50 million, a guaranteed 40. So let's assume 40. Then, you know, you bring in that keeper for 10 million, that Bourgelow is paid for itself, essentially. So, as I always say, we're technically going to sign 2 goalkeepers this summer, because technically David Raya's move is going to be made permanent. We already owe 27 million quid for that. And we need to do well where outgoings are concerned. You know, Charlie Patino will bring in a nominal fee, but every little helps. You know, Mika Bereth the same, potentially Brooke Norton, Coffey, and those kind of players. You get a decent fee for Ramsdale, Nelson, in theory, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah. You shift Lokonga, Tavares. I hate putting Tierney in that bracket, but Tierney, and it starts to look a lot more cozier at the club, and the outlook looks a lot better. Now, we're not going to bring in everything we need to, as much as I would love to, and we're not going to get rid of every player that needs to be moved on, people. But I think that's fair value, especially if he wants to go to Newcastle, who are doing their thing. Yesterday, the Mirror did report that Arsenal would be open to letting Ramsdale leave on a temporary basis for a season if a permanent deal fails to materialise. Arsenal will only sell him for a substantial fee, and he did sign a new deal, so people might say it's harsh, but we're in a good negotiating purpose. And if he goes somewhere on loan next year, does very well, then we might be in a position to negotiate even higher, people. Once again, Aaron Ramsdale's also been linked with Newcastle as well, people. So, yeah, I think we've covered everything Ramsdale's concerned. Once again, both Arsenal and United allegedly are willing to pay 60 million for Joao Neves, but Benfica have deemed that not enough. So we have to see. Juventus are interested in Kirill. You know, every minute it's AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Napoli, Roma. I wouldn't sell Kirill until we bring in a defensive body, you know, but he could be someone that, in my opinions, with the Parteys and Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko's and indirectly Smith Rowe and Ramsdale for a variety of reasons, in that I think in an ideal world, the club wouldn't want to move you on. But if offers are made, fair enough. And Arteta wants a left back. If you know, Kirill could pay for itself. Why I would keep Kirill is we're not exactly flushed with options at centre half. I know on the face of it, I wouldn't want him to go there, but Declan Rice can play there. Benjamin White can play there. Tomiyasu and Timber can play there, but they will deputize in other positions. And obviously, you know, if Declan Rice has to move out of midfield or Benjamin White has to move to centre back from right back, there's all holes in the squad. So I do think we need another defensive body, and I would like to keep hold of Kirill. But I'd understand if this club says, you know what, he's someone that could bring in a decent fee. I understand if Kirill, not that he's frustrated, because I mean you're competing with some quality players, and again, for the vast majority of the season, you've done well when called upon, but you haven't been in the strongest team. This is what comes with playing for a big club, and you'll be in that with Juventus. But minutes are currency, and you're not realistically going to get game time. He can play left back, but, you know, I'm not saying Zinchenko's better than him, but Zinchenko, for all his pros and cons, you see what he does there. Timber, Tomiyasu are probably stronger options there. There has been consistent rumours of us looking for a left back, so that could push him down the pecking order. Of course, there's plenty of games, and like every fan of every club, you want to win every trophy and get to the latter rounds, so there is game time. But, you know, we've spoken about left back. You're not going to get a look in at centre half ahead of Gabriel unless a miracle happens or an unfortunate injury, which we hope is not the case. Mika Bereth is high on the wish list of Club Brugge. So whether it's Stuttgart, like he's done well at, or Club Brugge or clubs in the Championship, we've got an appreciating asset that's got, what, 2 years or a year and an option of another year on his deal. Unfortunately, he's not going to make the grade at the club, get a decent fee, get a sell-on clause, and you can't go broke making a profit, people. Apparently, people, according to Alex Goldberg, who allegedly broke the news of Arsenal's interest in Kai Havertz last summer, Arsenal are interested in Sesko, but he's not the first choice. Chelsea are keener on signing the Slovenian and have been pushing hard for him. So again, the agent could be playing everyone against each other. He could be playing, you know, every club against each other, going to United and saying Chelsea and Arsenal are linked and they want him, and doing the same at the other clubs, and also using this interest to negotiate a better deal for, you know, his current man if he does choose to stay at Leipzig, really and truly. We'll have to see exactly what's going on there. I mean, I'm excited with Joao Neves. That's all you lot are seeing. Apparently, this unconfirmed news about Real Madrid inviting Arsenal, AC Milan and Galatasaray to participate in the friendly 2024 Bernabeu Cup, which will be held next August. So wouldn't that be 2025? I could be wrong, but that's just something to look at. Once again, we've gone over the Ramsdale stuff. Apparently, Napoli are holding a meeting with PSG over Victor Osimhen sale, and a potential move to France could be the thing. Maybe they're the only team they could flog him to. We've gone over Douglas Luiz already. Again, the journalists out of Belgium are confirming Mika Bereth is drawing a lot of interest from a lot of clubs. He did formerly play for Fulham, then rocked up at Arsenal, and it probably looks like he's moving on from there in that regard. And finally, Santi Cazorla has confirmed he has spoken with Mikel Arteta in regards to the possibility of joining his coaching staff. Come and help our midfielders, man. You know what, Santi? Go and dust off your boots, man. You'll probably be available more than Thomas Partey. Partey didn't deserve that. But where that's concerned, let me know your thoughts on Joao Neves, on Douglas Luiz, on Gyökeres, on Sesko, on Aaron Ramsdale, and everything else I've discussed. If there's any other news that comes out, I mean, I always say it, but I'm pretty sure the YouTube videos prove it. I'll be out to get more videos for you lot. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Check out the rest of the content. I'm going to edit some other videos for you lot. So yeah, you lot stay blessed, stay safe. Peace.
Because you always